Hello, friends. Welcome to Sama Dog, and welcome to another fabulous conversation with one of our expert educators. We're so excited to be here with all of you, and I am excited to bring to our amazing Sama Dog community another being that is going to support and give inspiration and guidance and answer questions and just be an amazing resource for all of you in your dog parenting and dog life. We are here with Julie McLaughlin, and she is a dog trainer with Canine Jules is the name of her company. Hi, Jules. Thank you for being here with us.
Hey Amanda, good morning, my love.
So Julie and I go way back. We met one fateful afternoon at a dog event, and it was like love at
Yep.
first sight. I remember squatting down there next to that picnic table and just like gazing into your eyes and just being like, "We got something going on here, girl." And and ever since, we have been dear friends
Oh,
and collaborators and supporters of
oh,
a similar mission and work. And she has taken our courses. One of the reasons
yep.
that I also want to share her with all of you right now today is because Julie is one of our experts of the 6 experts in total well-being for dogs, our program that starts
Mhm.
next Thursday. It's a 6-week program. Julie is week 3 or 4. Yeah, I think week 4. And she will be clearly bringing forward training and communication and connection with our animals and understanding what their needs are better. And what's awesome is Julie has taken total well-being for dogs. She's taken Ayurveda for dogs. She understands a lot about Ayurveda and the doshas. So she's also going to be able to customize and give suggestions for
Yeah.
each dosha, each mind body type, and exactly what would help them most. So we're going to get into that much more in the class, in the course. It is available for registration now. I will toss in the link in just a moment. I will put the link in the comments so that you all can see a little bit more about the program if you'd like to. But there's discounted pricing through tonight. So I just want to make sure I mentioned that today in this conversation. So we're on Saturday now through midnight tonight Pacific time. There's discounted pricing. So after that, though, registration is still available if you're looking at this later, and we'd love to have you. Let us know if you have any questions. So, Julie, as mentioned, is a dog trainer that specializes in bringing and considering the body, mind, spirit of animals.
Mm.
She's also a service dog trainer and a therapy dog trainer. She was the trainer who helped me with Violet getting her therapy dog license. And she's just a wealth of knowledge because of her genuine
Yeah.
passion for consciousness studies and work with the spiritual side of our life and the energy side. So enough from me. Now we're here to hear about you, Jules. And thank you again for being here. So,
Oh.
yeah. So first, how have things been going with your business and with your work? What have you been noticing lately? Anything different?
So I have, yes. And thank you so much, Amanda, for asking me to do this and bringing me into your life again. And just, it's always such a pleasure to work with you. You really, truly are such a beautiful inspiration to myself and the dog community at large.
Thank
So
you.
new thing that I've been diving into is just breath work with dogs. And it is absolutely amazing that we can share energy with our animals. I always tell people, I go, if there's something going on with your animal, we first need to kind of look at ourselves
Mm,
because usually we are a direct mirror of what's going on with our dog. So I just moved and things have been anxious.
mm,
Moving is, well, it's uncomfortable. Any way you want to shape it, even if you're moving into your dream home. So I saw a lot of that difficulty with my German Shepherd. She's 12 years old. She's really balanced. As we know, she's a therapy dog, bulletproof, but she was showing signs of stress. So what do we do when we have signs of stress? We get into more breath work, more meditation, and being mindful. And you go, how the heck can I teach my dog how to do that? I have
mm,
problems trying to do that myself. So I started more breath work routine with her. And I also work with Amanda's friend who makes flower essences and bringing nature back into life too. Because as we know, nature is a constant balance for pretty much all of us.
mm.
So it really helps ground us. So that's what I did with her. And it was really nice. It was only a couple days
Mm.
that she was kind of unsettled, and then we went right back. But routine and more breath work and just really honoring like that she's uncomfortable. And you want to know what? That's okay too. We don't need to be like, oh my gosh, because then that makes them feel like, oh my gosh, something really is wrong. Now mom's acting like a weirdo. So just try to keep things consistent. Try to be mindful of where you're coming from and just feed in a little bit more of like extra little tender love and care. So that's kind of what has been up with us lately.
Mm.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. That's great. Right away, as always, you're filled with so many great tips. I remember when you used to come over to our house and we did so much boarding in San Diego, Julie would arrive on the
Mm.
premises and immediately be like, okay, let's try a little of this. Let's do a little of this while I'm here today. I'll take care of that. We even like trimming nails and everything else.
Yeah,
So I mean,
yeah.
she's super hands-on and just like has so many resources. So Jules, tell us, I call her Jules. You can call her Jules too.
Yes,
I think it's
totally.
okay, and it's just a little more fun and sassy.
I like
So,
it.
I know you've been a dog trainer for a long time. I don't actually know how many
Mhm.
years exactly. How many?
We're going on 11 years. It's
Wow.
crazy.
So I know when you first originally did your training and your certifications and whatnot, it wasn't
Yeah.
necessarily in the holistic realm. It was more kind of your
No.
conventional. So what
Yeah.
what changed? What brought you to the other side?
Well, you don't know this story.
Mm-mm.
And it directly has to do with you. And I tell this story
Oh.
a lot. So when Amanda and I first met, we met at a dog function, obviously, dog lovers. But what she didn't tell you is that this beautiful woman volunteered her time to help soldiers and their service dogs be centered and grounded together. And she came and did a meditation with us and our little pack of veterans and dogs. And I've
It was so
always been
special.
it was awesome. It was so awesome
Mhm.
just to see the change and then get the feedback after. And so many people just they're like, wow, that really calmed me and my dog. Because
Mhm.
as we know, with service dog trainers, like you have to have that bond. And that's really what we're trying to teach our recipients of the dogs is like, especially with PTSD, is how can we have our dog, which is our tool in our toolbox, help us get to that point where we're not in fight or flight, and that's hard.
Yeah.
So Amanda really brought that to the forefront. And I've been struggling with mental health, all my life. I'm a human, I'll be open about it. And when you came in and did that meditation, I've always struggled to do it on my own, but something just clicked. And I was
Mm.
like, "Oh my gosh." And I had a very anxious dog that I was working with at the time, and he had a hard time settling, and I had to go out and come back in. But he finally got it towards the end, and I was like, "This is really powerful. I
Mm.
really need to start diving into this and tapping into this. There's something here. There's something that I'm missing." So, Amanda, I want to thank you. So, you really were that little seed that planted and bloomed into Canine
Mm.
Jewels and my holistic dog training and my path that I'm on today. So, I really am just so thankful. Bet you didn't know
Aw.
that, did you?
I didn't. I didn't. I knew it was magical, and I know that
Yeah.
we've over the years, we've shared so much, and you've been such an open, like a receptive, sponge-like student of like, "Tell me everything. Tell me
Yeah.
more." We'd get into my little treasure trove over here of all the
Mhm.
supplements and the aromas
Heck
and the
yeah.
flower essences and all that, and we'd spend a lot of time with it. But I didn't know that it was kind of that initial connection for you, and that it inspired
Yeah.
you so much. So I love hearing
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So I want to invite any of our viewers today in our community, if you're watching this now with us, and also welcome to you if you're watching this later. Thank you for being here. But I want
Mhm.
to invite any of you to let us know if you have questions, comments, feedback, anything else that comes up throughout this. We love the two-way street. We'll keep
Heck yeah.
talking until you guys talk. So, you just let us know. We do have one question. Even I was just with our family last night, and we have one question. But we're going to come back to that in just one moment. First, I want to know a little bit more,
Yeah,
Jules, with your when you're meeting with a new client, new
yeah,
student of yours, and new human
yeah.
being, a human companion. How do you start? How do you start to assess what is going to happen? Like, what's your approach?
So first it starts with a phone call. And you know what? I love people that empower their own self. What we talk about in therapy is you got to grab your own tissue. And by
Mm,
calling a professional, a dog trainer, you're grabbing your own tissue. You're saying, hey, something isn't quite right here. So we start off with a phone call, and then I schedule an in home evaluation. I have to meet the family and whoever's involved with the dog and the dog. So when I first start and I go to meet the dog, um, I ground myself before in the car, which if you ever seen me, I'm just like, ah, like people like, what is that lady doing? Uh, because I really like try to just tap into like I am just at the end of the day, I'm just a human and that's all I can be, but there's powers out there we all know that are greater that grow trees and move the ocean and have all our planets in line. And I just kind of say, hey, like help me see the truth. Help me see that how I can help through what I do help this dog communicate to this family and help this family communicate back to their dog. And I go in there with an open heart and an open mind and I listen. And I kind of just go through, all right, guys, show me what's going on. And my first eval, I'm observing everything. So from how the dog greets me at the door to how the dog is on walks, and you can, I don't know, doing this for 11 years, like they all have their own personalities and you just start to know their personalities like friends, and they all know. I swear, there's one joke I make. I go, the dogs have called each other and they know, they go, "Hey, the dog trainer's coming over. You better be on your best behavior." Because usually when I come over, they're like, "They've never acted like this before. They're so
Yeah.
well behaved." So that's what I try to do. When I'm
Mhm,
there, I want to be in there. I want to be in the space with the humans and the dog and feel their energy. And I just observe. And if I feel like
mhm,
someone's stuck a little bit, I will give some training right there and then on the spot to help remedy a little bit. But also, we have to remember dog training is complicated. You're learning a new language, you're learning how to communicate with a new animal. And most people, they go, "Well, my dog before wasn't like this." And I go, "Yeah, this is a new being, totally new." So that's kind of where I go, just open minded and observing and just try to guide and help and direct the best they can.
mhm. And then you have a huge treasure trove of tools, right? You have
Heck yeah.
obviously everything from more classical training, more then
Yep.
there's modern training, then there's
Yep.
specific dog need training, then there's the whole body
Yep.
mind side of things. So you just
Heck yeah.
choose from your tools and make a formula.
Exactly. You got it
Mhm.
because each dog is individual and each family is individual too. And also, I'm a big advocate for the dogs. Remember, at the end of the day, if I could have a million dogs in my house, I would. Because that's where I feel most at peace. There's nothing like where I used to work back east, like walking through a whole field of, I don't know, 60 plus dogs and just be at peace. It's the
Mm,
most amazing feeling you have ever felt in your life.
mm, mm,
It's beautiful. So we have to remember we have to advocate for our animals first and foremost. And some
yeah.
families are like, well, I want my dog to be A, B, and C and D. And I go, hey, back up. That
Mm,
that's not their wheelhouse. They're not
mm,
capable of doing that. But I can give you here, here, and here. This is what they are capable of. So we really have to make sure that the families and the humans understand who they're getting as a dog. Like, I
mhm,
have a German Shepherd who just came over and gave me some love, my old lady. And I went through this journey myself. Her dad was the police canine. Her mom did protection sports. I wanted her so badly to do this. And guess
Mhm.
what? That wasn't her dharma. It wasn't her calling. And she's a beautiful therapy dog. And it took us down this road of learning. And I would have never learned so much. That's also another thing, too. If we embrace our dogs, they will teach us so many beautiful lessons about being present and being in the moment. And I've never had that connection with any other animal. It's mind blowing.
They can be such amazing teachers and they're so worthy. That's
Mm.
why
Yeah.
spending all this time, both of us committing our life and our business to this, our participants caring enough to be on this line right now and listen,
Yeah.
the people who participate, who decide to take the course and go through that 6 weeks, there's
Hmm.
an investment in all of this and being the best pet parents we can be, but it's so
Yeah.
worthwhile. And
Yep.
we will see it immediately, just the intention that we have, we will see that immediate
Hmm.
reciprocation from our animals, feeling um, that willingness to help them be their best, rather than just
Heck yeah.
frustration and put them
Yeah.
away if they're not behaving in the right way, and instead bring them closer and approach them with
Hmm.
love. So, that's
Yeah.
what we'll spend a lot of time talking about and getting into the details of, what is where do we start exactly? And what we'll also address
Yeah.
in the class is we get into like maybe 5 or so super common circumstances, which one of them we're going to bring up
Mm.
right now and kind of do a little sampling of. But the most common challenges that people are having with their animals, let's break it down, look at it from a mind body spirit approach, and like what
Yes.
can we come forward with. And that's so helpful. I
Hmm.
hear oftentimes through this course that people take a lot from this particular session of just like tangible tips and methods that they can use today that they haven't heard before from most
Yeah.
trainers, because it's such a different approach. So my well, not my question, but Keegan's question, but something that comes up very often is the jumping. We need to ask about jumping.
Yes.
My little dog nephew is getting bigger and bigger and heavier as he jumps on you. So give us a
Yep.
few tips. Give us a few tips on that one, Jules.
So jumping, we have to remember, is a self-rewarding behavior that the dog, every time they jump, they go, "Oh, that feels good." In
Mm,
the dog world, that's really normal. In the human world, we're like, "Oh my gosh," as you say, we are getting bigger and stronger. And as humans, we got this frail skin. We don't have fur, so we see effects of that. You should see my legs, they're covered in bruises and scratches. It's just life.
mine currently.
So, jumping, there's many different approaches to it. So, first approach that I usually like to use is, remember, we're training behavior. We need to find out why the dog is jumping. You know, Usually it happens around the door, right? So people are coming in, and we've subconsciously come in, and the first thing we do is we go, "Oh my God, you're so excited to see me." You want to match that energy, so you bend down and you pet the dog, and we don't know. We're like, "Oh my gosh, we're reinforcing that behavior." So what I really try to do is like, I would set up a mat near the door for place, and just really honor people coming in and out, and pay attention to where your dog's mindset is and try to keep that calm. It also helps, you got to have the leash involved. And the leash is communication. It's not restraint to keep our dog back. It's not to keep them from running away. It's communication. It's to let
Mm,
them know, like, hey, this, all right, we'll do this over here, or follow me over there. But it's really about trying to train the mindset of not being so excited. And then maybe when we have a toy out or something, because we need to fulfill that somewhere. And that's what a lot of people kind of forget is like, our dogs are biologically driven like we are too. So if your dog is jumping and super excited, we need to find an outlet for them to be able to jump, to be able to be excited. And we just need to modify it and be like, hey, when people come in, this isn't the time to do that. But over here, you can do that all day long. So
mm,
we also need to think about environmental spaces too. In the home, I do with my dogs, it's really calm. Like, I do a lot of flower essences and essential oils. I also use Amanda's cookies that help with the doshas, depending on which dosha your dog is. And it does, it helps balance the dogs. And we have quiet time in the house. But as soon as that door opens to the backyard, it's
Yeah.
time to rip it up. It's time to have fun. It's time to be a dog, you know? So that's really what you want to honor and just kind of look at that. Like, hey, what's going on with our dog? Have we praised them when they were a puppy? You know, it starts at a young age. So that's
Mhm.
one of
Mhm.
my tips. If not,
Mhm.
there are many more. That's the best thing about finding the dog trainer that's right for you.
Yeah.
You know, there's many different ways you can address one behavior. And I always tell someone, if someone has one thing that they're stuck on you doing, go to someone else. It's okay. You can interview multiple dog trainers and find
Mm,
what fits for you and your dog.
mm.
Best tip ever.
It's good. I think so often
Mhm.
what I'm reminded of when you speak, Jules, is that so oftentimes the tools that we suggest and use are misunderstood.
Yes.
Everything from a leash, tethering a leash
Mhm.
for puppies, to crates, to
Yeah.
even picking up their food bowl. You know, I get into nutrition a lot,
Mhm.
and like
Yep.
free feeding people like, well,
Yes.
but when he's hungry, I want him to have food. And, it's,
Right.
there's like a lot of misunderstandings that actually are hindering and setting
Mhm.
us back from where we're looking to go with our animals. So that's where education
Yeah.
comes in, because until we know, we don't know.
Right.
So, and it's all good. Like, we've all learned it at some point. So it's not any judgment, and instead actually
Heck yeah.
inviting as many people that are willing to listen in to hear about new ways of being and ways of working with our animals.
You got
So,
it.
speaking of working with our animals and our humans, what I have a question for you. What lights
Shoot.
you up most about the work that you do?
Well, I'm a human. It's gotta be the gratification. Like, I just had this dog stay with me for 6 weeks, okay? He got brought to me, bit a person, bit a dog. Mom and dad were just they were kinda living in a box, like, scared to take him out. He was leash reactive, and he stayed with me for 6 weeks. And bringing him home to that family, and the fact that they can
I could make
live
me cry
their
too.
normal life with their dog, and the empowerment that I give people and confidence, it's just so beautiful. Mom is like, "I can't thank you enough." She's like, "I can actually walk my dog past my neighbor's house without having to be worried about being pulled down, and the dog is so much happier." She was like, "I can
Mm.
have people at my house. He's happy to see people in his own house." And you know what the saddest thing is? This guy is like a soy dog that came from Thailand.
Oh,
So we
wow.
don't know his background, but just the fact that I could bring peace to that dog and that family, sorry.
It's okay.
That
You know me, I'm very emotional about these things, and I'm sure many of our family members here are also feeling it. It's deep, the deep
yeah,
love that we have, and the way that we can um, serve a family, to be
yeah,
such a resource for a family to see such success and growth. It's very emotional and it's very powerful. It's life changing. This is
yeah,
our day to day, and it's the whole life for this animal. So for
yeah,
you to have such a strong influence in changing that for them, like, that means everything.
yeah. So, like I said,
Mhm,
like my teacher, my yoga teacher says, like this is my dharma,
mhm.
and like that when I first started working with dogs, Amanda, I didn't know. My dad was like, "Jules, you don't have a job. Go get a job. My friend has a job for you." I didn't even grow up with a dog,
Wow.
like, I had cats and rats, and
And
just
those little
something in
flying
me
ones that you
awoke.
told me about,
Yeah,
those
my
little
sugar gliders, yeah.
the sugar gliders, yeah.
I love those. They're really smart, like a dog, by the way.
That's
So,
fun.
it's just beautiful. Something in me just was like, "Ah," and for the first time in my life, I didn't ignore it, and I went towards it,
Mm,
and
and
it's
there you
been
went.
a blessing. So, yeah.
Oh. Well, Jules, you are amazing. We're so grateful to have
Thank
you as
you.
part of the class. I can't wait to learn
Me
more
too.
from you and be able to sit down. Each of our classes throughout the 6 weeks are 90 minutes. So we have,
Our
oh, got weird there for a second. So we have 60 minutes with the teacher, and then at least 30 minutes to just go and talk and ask all the questions and get all the feedback that we specifically need for our situation. So it's really great that we can kind of speak to the universal, but then make it very individual in the same experience together. So again, everyone, this is Julie. She's from Canine Jewels. Let me put up her website here in case you'd like to learn more from her, connect. She does virtual work as well. So she's in San Diego. I don't think we ever mentioned that. She's in the San Diego area. But if you need support and you're nowhere near San Diego, don't hesitate to reach out. She's still available. She's going to be part of our Total Wellbeing for Dogs course. There's a link in the comments that you can click through and explore and learn more of the curriculum and what it's all about. We'd love to have any of you there. Thank you again, Julie, for the beautiful work that you do, for your golden heart, for being my friend and my collaborator, and all the doggy goodness that we are going to continue to put into the world. There's no one I'd rather do it with. All right. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.